Peres family, President Rivlin, Prime Minister Netanyahu, the leader of Knesset, and President Obama, and all the distinguished leaders who have come from around the world. Yesterday, the Prime Minister did something that was unthinkable back in the dark ages when I was President of the United States. He sent out a tweet. And the tweet reminded us of a simple fact. It was Israel's first day without Shimon Peres. Yes, he was in the Knesset for 48 years, but for more than 70 of his 93 years. In one way or the other, in and out of government, he was a public servant. I was honored to share almost 25 of those years with him. First, in our common efforts with Prime Minister Rabin of blessed memory to forge a just and lasting peace between Israel and Palestinians. Then, just as his friend, someone who listened to, learned from, and laughed with him, and always was in awe of his endless capacity to move beyond even the most crushing setbacks in order to seize the possibilities of each new day. I am honored the family asked me to tell you what he meant to someone who is not a citizen of this country I love so much, but who was nevertheless blessed and inspired. And I think in many ways is representative of millions more he touched, though he never met. Israel watched him grow first from sort of young genius, doing his best to build undefeatable defense forces, through a long life to become a wise champion of our common humanity. Someone who wanted the best for all children. Yes, the Israeli children, but also the children of his neighbors and the larger world. The previous speakers have reminded me again of a clip I saw last night on television where Shimon was being interviewed by Charlie Rose. And he looked at him sort of saying, I'm going to serve a softball up to you and watch you hit a home run. What do you want your legacy to be? And he said, I'm more concerned about tomorrow than yesterday. Our complicated, brilliant friend, steered by a simple, straightforward creed. Thanks in no small measure to his constant, relentless urging, the tomorrows he envisions are already being lived here in Israel by many young people, in spite of all the troubles. You heard the Prime Minister talk about the dedication of the new high-tech park. He's been talking to me about that for 25 years. And there are young people now throughout the region who are trying to break both the mental and the material chains that have held them in bondage, thanks in no small measure to the inspiration he provided. As has been said, his critics often claimed he was a naive, overly optimistic dreamer. They were only wrong about the naive part. He knew exactly what he was doing in being overly optimistic. He knew exactly what he was doing with his dreams. He never gave up on anybody. I mean, anybody. You heard the Prime Minister talk about their beautiful friendship. It followed a very tough campaign. But Shimon always kept the door open. We shared so many wonderful times, but my personal favorite was sitting with him and his old foe and personal friend Ariel Sharon at his 80th birthday party. Listening to the back and forth was a sight to behold. It was worth the price of admission, as the saying goes. In addition, it was a perfect Peres night. The stage was full of young people talking about what he had meant to their lives, including a young Ethiopian member of your defense forces who was met as a very young child at the airport as part of the operation he supported. The night ended, however, with a choir of Israeli, Jewish, and Arab children singing together John Lennon's wonderful song, Imagine. Shimon actually could imagine all the people living in the world today. He imagined all the things the rest of us could do. He started off life as Israel's brightest student, became its best teacher, and ended up its biggest dreamer. He lived 93 years in a state of constant wonder over the unbelievable potential of all the rest of us to rise above our wounds, our resentments, our fears, to make the most of today and claim the promise of tomorrow. Now, it must have been hard for him to do this. It's easy to say things like this at a memorial service. It's hard to do. First, he had to master his own demons, forgive himself for his own mistakes, and get over his own disappointments. The monumental effort required to do that grew his heart to be bigger than his brain, which is really saying something. That effort also, I am convinced, is what made him forever young. Now he is gone, leaving only a blessed memory and a powerful example. That's more than enough. If those of us who loved him from near and far accept our duty to keep his gifts alive. So for the rest of our lives, whenever the road we travel comes to a dead end, or the good we seek to do hits a stone wall, or the hand of friendship we extend meets only a cold stare, in his honor, I ask that we remember Shimon Peres' luminous smile and imagine.